Welcome to Wrestling with Snipes. Today we'll be reviewing AEW Dynamite for January 1st, 2025. Yes, that's 2025. AEW Dynamite kicks off with a one-on-one contest between Adam Hangman Paige and freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy. The match starts off with Cassidy going for a Superman punch, but Paige moves out of the way. Then Paige goes for a Deadeye, but Cassidy escapes. Hangman hits a lariat, knocking Cassidy to the outside of the ring. Paige then throws Cassidy into the barricade, picks him up, and then throws him into a different barricade. Then Cassidy battles back and goes for a suicide dive, but Paige blocks it, picks him up for a powerbomb. But Cassidy escapes, but then Hangman hits him with a fallaway slam on the outside of the ring. We come back from commercial break and we see Cassidy hitting a suicide dive on the outside. They battle back into the ring and Cassidy hits a Superman punch, followed by a second Superman punch which knocks Hangman to the apron. Then Cassidy hits a third Superman punch. Oh my, a third one. Hangman is barely hanging onto the ropes, and then out of nowhere Hangman hits a buckshot lariat. 1, 2, 3, Adam Hangman Page picks up the dub. Then after the match, Hangman assaults Orange Cassidy and hits him with a Deadeye not once but twice. Out comes Christopher Daniels and he gets in Adam Page's face, and then Hangman decks him. Paige then puts a beating on Christopher Daniels, and as he's walking away he says, "Stay out of my business." Then we see Switchblade Jay White in the back, and he said he planned on being the AEW World Champion on January 1st. And the plan almost worked out perfectly, but Wheeler Yuta cost me the championship. He cost me a moment. He cost me my moment. But I still have a path to Mox through the Casino Gauntlet, so tonight I have a three-way with Swerve Strickland and Roderick Strong, and they will bleed with the Switchblade. The next match is a tag team contest with the Acclaim against the Hart, Syndicate, Shelton Benjamin, and Bobby Lashley. Lashley attacks Caster before the bell rings and puts the boots to him in the corner. The bell rings and Lashley hits a neckbreaker followed by shoulder thrusts into Caster's midsection. Lashley clotheslines Caster to the outside of the ring, and then he goes and tags Shelton Benjamin. Shelton drops to the floor and tosses Caster back into the ring. Shelton goes for a backdrop, but Caster escapes and tags in Anthony Bowens. Bowens super kicks Shelton in the gut and then kicks him in the head and runs to the ropes. But then Caster tags himself in. They get into an argument of who's going to take over the match, and Shelton Benjamin grabs Caster and it's back to back release German suplexes. Bowens then watches the remainder of the match from the outside of the ring. Shelton then tags in Lashley and Lashley hits a big spear. Then Lashley locks in the Hurt Lock and Caster taps out right away as Anthony Bowens walks away on the outside of the ring. The Hurt Syndicate win the tag team contest. Then we go to the back and we see Alex Marvez with Swerve Strickland. Whose house? He says, the last few weeks I've been very distracted, but tonight I get back to doing what I do best. Tonight's three-way guarantees me a spot in the Casino Gauntlet. But I've never been in one of these before, and you know why? Because I was the world champion. Swerve walks away and Prince Nana wishes everyone a happy new year. The next match with a 20-minute time limit was Jamie Hayter one-on-one with the returning Julia Hart. They lock up to start the match and Julia just pushes Hayter away. Julia then hits a back elbow followed by a clothesline and Hayter rolls to the outside of the ring. Julia leaps from the apron to Hayter, but Hayter catches her and puts Julia up on her shoulder. Julia then escapes and pushes Hayter into the steel steps. Julia then rams Hayter's head right on top of the steel steps, and we go to commercials. We come back from break and Hayter hits a back elbow followed by a big boot. Julia then goes for a moonsault but lands on her feet as Hayter rolls out of the way. Hayter then hits a Death Valley driver followed by a basement clothesline for a 2 count. Julia then grabs an arrow, but the ref grabs the arrow, throwing it onto the outside. But as the ref is not looking, Julia then spits mist into Hayter's eyes. She rolls up Jamie Hayter for 1, 2, 3. Julia Hart picks up the victory. Next up comes the TBS and New Japan Strong Women's Champion, the CEO, Mercedes Monae. She says, Asheville, North Carolina, say hello to your CEO. She says she's the greatest TBS champion to ever exist. She says Happy New Year's to her only and tells Money Mike to roll the video package. We see a video package airing about Mercedes Monae in 2024. Then she says the first stop in 2025 is the Tokyo Dome for Wrestle Dynasty, where she will be defending her New Japan Strong Women's title against Mina Shirakawa. She says, Mina, you have what I want, and that's more gold, so I'm coming for the Rev Pro Women's Championship. So Mina, on January 5th, just remember one thing: money changes everything. The next contest was a three-way match to determine the number one entrant for the Casino Gauntlet. The participants were Switchblade, Jay White, Roderick Strong, and Swerve Strickland. Whose house? Swerve clotheslines White out of the ring to start the match. Swerve then hits a vertical suplex on Roderick Strong. Jay White slides back into the ring and hits a double DDT with all three men down. We come back from break and Swerve is walking the barricade and kicks Jay White in the face. Then out of nowhere from the crowd, Ricochet shows up and hits Swerve in the head with a pair of gold scissors. Strong throws White back into the ring and out of nowhere, White hits the Blade Runner. 1, 2, 3. Jay White picks up the victory and will be the number one entrant in the Casino Gauntlet match. Then on the outside we see Swerve is busted wide open and Ricochet digs the scissors into Swerve's forehead. Ricochet then grabs a chair, but Prince Nana tries to grab the chair away, but Ricochet pushes Nana to the ground and hits him in the back with the chair. Ricochet gets in the ring with the chair, but out comes Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly to make the save, and Swerve Strickland is a bloody mess. Then we come back from break and we see the AEW Women's Champion, the Glamour, Mariah May. She says, I think the women's division is great, and you know why? Because I had the most matches of any woman in this company. I left a trail of broken hearts, broken bodies, and broken minds. And I made it look so damn easy. I don't have epics, I am the epic. Now it's time for the greatest women's division to prove themselves to me. I am the women from hell. You can't touch me, but I'd love to see you try. Then we go to the ring and we see the last outlaw, Double J, Jeff Jarrett. He says, happy slap year, North Carolina. He says, I've been doing some thinking over the past few days and there's a lot to be grateful for. In 2002, I bet on myself and launched my own promotion, Total Non-Stop Action. Then Jarrett grabs his wrestling boots that are in the middle of the ring and he says, he asked the people if the last outlaw should ride out into the sunset. Hell no. He says he wants one more ride. I want AEW Gold. Jarrett announces he'll be entering the Casino Gauntlet next match and his New Year's resolution is to become the AEW World Heavyweight Champion. Next we see Will Hobbs squash two Hammond Eggers. We go to the back and we see Rated FTR challenge the Learning Tree to a 6-man tag match on Collision this Saturday night. Then it was time for the main event of the evening and a 6-man tag match with the Death Riders against Rated FTR. The match starts with Dax and Yuta. They lock up and Yuta gets a headlock and gets knocked down by Dax. Dax then tags in Cope and Yuta tags in Claudio. Cope and Claudio lock up. Cope tosses Claudio over the top rope to the outside. Edge then hits a baseball slide. Cope then tosses Claudio back into the ring, but then from behind Shafir shoves Cope into the ring post. We come back from commercial break and we see Cope and Mox battling into the crowd. They battle back to ringside and Cope slides back into the ring, sets up for a spear, but Mox and Claudio pull Cope groin first into the ring post. They toss Cope onto the announce table and out of nowhere Switchblade Jay White slides into the ring and hits Yuta with a Blade Runner. Cope backdrops Mox onto the table and then we go back into the ring and FTR hits Yuta with a Shatter Machine followed by Edge hitting a big spear. 1, 2, 3. Rated FTR pick up the victory to close out Dynamite.